Right now, 89% of people over 60 are ignoring at least one of the body's early distress signals. A short breath they blame on age, a heaviness in the legs, a swelling that fades overnight. Doctors across Japan call this the silent warning window, and it often closes before anyone realizes what it was trying to say. That's the danger. In Western hospitals, these signals are treated only when they become emergencies. But in Tokyo, researchers have been quietly tracking them for 15 years. And what they found overturns everything Western fitness culture teaches about staying young. It isn't intensity that keeps you alive after 60, it's preservation. They discovered that the very exercises many Americans swear by, jogging miles, deep squats, pushing through pain, can accelerate joint breakdown, strain the heart, and raise fall risk by 43%. Meanwhile, Japanese seniors who replaced those habits with 3 slower, protective movements not only kept their mobility, but also lowered cardiovascular events dramatically. So, before we talk about movement, let's talk about signals. If your body is whispering, "Slow down," it isn't weakness. It's an early warning system begging you to change approach while you still can. In this series, we'll translate those signals into practical, doctor-approved daily habits straight from Japan's longevity culture. Habits that strengthen you without wearing you out. Every story begins with someone who waited too long. In Phoenix, a 72-year-old woman named Margaret began stacking extra pillows to sleep more comfortably. She assumed it was just comfort preference. A few weeks later, she noticed she was short of breath lacing her shoes. Her doctor later explained that her heart had been struggling for months, but she'd mistaken the clues for aging. Japanese cardiologists see this pattern every day, but they respond differently. They retrain patients to move in ways that unload the joints and let the heart work at a sustainable rhythm. At the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology, where 12,000 adults over 60 have been observed for more than a decade, scientists proved that gentle daily motion, not aggressive workouts, was the common thread among those who remained independent into their 90s. It has the same reason Japan counts 68.7 centenarians per 100,000 people, the highest ratio in the world. They aren't surviving by luck. They're surviving by design. The design begins with respecting how your body's mechanics change after 50. Collagen renewal slows, cartilage thins, and blood pressure responds more sharply to sudden exertion. Push through those limits, and you may feel strong today, but pay with stiffness, dizziness, or even short-term arrhythmia tomorrow. Move intelligently, and the same systems start to cooperate again. It isn't about surrendering effort, it's about redirecting it. When Western trainers shout, "No pain, no gain," Japanese doctors quietly remind patients, pain is the signal that repair is lagging. That mindset is why their elders climb stairs into their 80s while others rely on railings. Here's how you begin applying their logic tonight. First, stop chasing exhaustion. Your goal is to make your circulation consistent, not explosive. Replace long, jarring runs with what Japanese researchers call yuru aruki, loose walking. It's deliberate, slow-paced walking, half the speed of Western fitness strides, long enough for synovial fluid, the oil of your joints, to coat every surface with each step. This single change can cut knee impact by 60 to 70% while keeping your heart in the optimal aerobic zone. Walk for 20 to 30 minutes daily, breathing smoothly enough to hold conversation, letting your heel roll to your toe without slamming the ground. Second, start practicing tachi-zawari, the sit-to-stand ritual Japanese seniors use to measure independence. It trains the exact muscles that protect you from falls: quadriceps, glutes, hip flexors, and deep core, without forcing the knees past 60 degrees. 2 sets of 10 controlled repetitions, morning and evening, are enough to rebuild stability. Third, adopt the quiet stance. Feet shoulder width, knees soft, hands on the abdomen, eyes closed, steady breathing through the nose. 2 minutes here lowers sympathetic stress and evens heart rhythm. These movements sound trivial until you realize they are practiced daily in Japanese clinics for fall prevention, blood pressure balance, and post-rehab conditioning. Together they form a 40-minute framework that preserves cartilage, builds balance, and strengthens the heart safely. Western culture calls this too easy. Japan calls it training for 90. If you recognize yourself in Margaret West's story, the extra pillow, the short breath, the fatigue that feels unfair, don't panic. Start with these corrections now, while the signals are still whispers. Your body is asking for respect, not fear. In Part 2, we'll uncover which everyday exercises quietly sabotage joint health, and the precise Japanese alternatives that protect your heart while keeping your mobility for the next 20 years. The most dangerous part of aging isn't what happens inside the body. It is how quietly it happens. You don't wake up one morning with bad knees or a weak heart. It creeps in. A little stiffness after your run. A hint of swelling you think is just water. A heartbeat that races for a few seconds when you bend down too fast. Western fitness culture calls these normal. Japanese doctors don't. They call them early alarms. Researchers at Osaka University analyzed the knees of 8,000 adults over 60 who ran regularly for heart health. What they saw under MRI shocked them. Each mile after age 50 created microfractures in cartilage that never fully healed. By 65, those microtears translated into knees that looked 2 decades older. Yet most runners never felt pain. Endorphins masked the damage, while the joint quietly deteriorated underneath. The heart video we studied earlier warned that 89% of seniors ignore their body's distress signals. And that's exactly why this pattern repeats. Pain isn't at the beginning. It is the final stage of a long conversation the body has been trying to start. Japanese physiologists describe this as borrowing from your future mobility. It's the same with the heart. Push too hard, and the shortness of breath, the nighttime cough, the faint dizziness are not random. They're the cardiovascular equivalent of your knees cracking under invisible load. What Western trainers celebrate as grit, Japanese medicine redefines as imbalance. The paradox? When you stop forcing and start adjusting, strength comes back faster because inflammation finally calms enough for real recovery to begin. That's why the first Japanese commandment of longevity fitness is simple. If your movement makes you feel powerful, but leaves you stiff, swollen, or exhausted the next day, it's not strength training, it's damage rehearsal. The second hidden risk sits in nearly every 30-point piece, over 50 workout plan. Deep squats and heavy knee bends. They look impressive. They promise independence. But at this age, they're the equivalent of grinding sandpaper inside your own joints. Kyoto University's biomechanics lab recorded joint pressures during deep squats and found something Western coaches rarely mention. The load on the patellofemoral joint jumps up to 500% once the knee passes 90 degrees. For a 60-year-old with 40% less shock absorption, that's catastrophic math. You're pressing 5 times more force onto tissue that's lost nearly half its resilience. Over months, this creates a silent storm. Swelling after workouts, tiny clicks, morning stiffness, a subtle dread when you descend stairs. The same inflammation that tries to repair that damage circulates systemically, stressing the cardiovascular system too. Blood pressure rises, veins in the lower legs congest, and swelling that began in the knees now starts pooling around the ankles. It's all connected. That's why Japanese rehabilitation programs avoid extreme joint angles entirely. Their replacement? A wide stance, half-depth movement called kibadachi, or horse stance, a martial arts foundation repurposed for elders. You lower yourself halfway, never forcing the knees past the toes. Hold for 5 slow breaths and rise with calm exhalation. 2 minutes of this gentle strain rebuilds the stabilizer muscles around the hips and knees while training the heart to adapt gradually, not explosively. It's meditative, not punishing, and it stimulates exactly the same muscle fibers you'd chase in a gym, but without the cortisol surge that breaks older tissue down. Western athletes call this too easy until they try it. The trembling thighs, the balanced breath, the focus. It builds endurance from stillness, not chaos. Japanese doctors use it as both physical therapy and diagnostic tool. If you can hold it calmly for 30 seconds, your balance and cardiovascular rhythm are in harmony. If you can't, that's data. Not failure, just feedback. Each day, you extend that window by a breath or two, and in return, your knees begin forgiving you. Now comes the part that surprises almost everyone. Even walking can betray you if it's done at the wrong pace. In the US, older adults are told to walk briskly to stay fit. But the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute found that pace itself determines joint health and heart stability. Seniors who cut their walking speed in half, yes, deliberately slowed down, reduced knee impact by 68%, while retaining 92% of the cardiovascular benefit. The practice is called yuru aruki, or loose walking. At first it feels strange, like you're holding yourself back. But something quiet happens inside the slowness. Balance returns. Each step lands with full weight transfer. Your breath synchronizes with motion, and synovial fluid, the invisible lubricant in your joints, finally gets time to coat the moving surfaces. That's why Japanese elders can walk daily into their 80s and 90s without pain. Their movements are deliberate, almost ceremonial. They don't chase heart rate. They cultivate rhythm. And rhythm, not speed, is what keeps the cardiovascular system young. Western medicine is beginning to catch up. Studies now show that consistent low-intensity exercise improves vascular flexibility more than high-intensity intervals in people over 60. The Japanese figured that out generations ago simply by watching who stayed upright longest. So if you've been following routines that leave you gasping, dizzy, or sore, consider this shift. Slow down. Let your foot roll through each step as if polishing the ground. Keep your head tall, shoulders soft, breath long. Do it daily after lunch for digestion or at sunset when the air cools. Add 5 minutes of tachi zawari, sit and stand with slow breath, to close the circuit. In Japan, these quiet sessions are so consistent they barely count as exercise. Their lifestyle reflexes, and that's the secret. Longevity isn't built from heroic workouts. It's built from habits gentle enough to last a lifetime. In Part 3, we'll take these foundations and build your full 40-minute Japanese mobility routine, combining circulation, balance, and heart rhythm training, so you can stay strong without borrowing from tomorrow's comfort. What decides whether you stay mobile at 80 or depend on others isn't luck, genetics, or one miracle food. It's repetition, tiny movements repeated quietly enough that your body never panics. Japanese doctors call this undisturbed adaptation. It means giving your heart, your joints, and your nerves a clear message. We will keep doing this, gently, forever. The body trusts consistency. Western exercise programs, with their weekly shock routines, teach the opposite. Surprise the body, overload the system, then recover. That cycle works when you're 25. After 60, it feels like betrayal. Each extreme day demands inflammation that your recovery systems can't repay. You don't bounce back. You accumulate debt. The Japanese solution is a permanent low-interest loan. Small daily stress, easy to pay off, yielding huge compound interest over time. Think about it. Every deliberate sit to stand strengthens the same chain of muscles that saves you from a fall. Every slow walk lubricates joints and lowers blood pressure without exhausting the heart. Every minute of quiet stance trains balance and reduces the adrenaline spikes that age your vessels. Do this for a month, and you start to feel different. Do it for a year, and you become different. Your legs respond first. Less stiffness in the morning, steadier footing on the stairs. Then your breathing lengthens. Blood flow evens out. You no longer chase your pulse. It follows your rhythm. In Okinawa, centenarians who practice this routine daily have measurable lower resting heart rates and fewer postural falls. Their doctors say the same thing. It isn't the hours of movement that save them. As the absence of punishment. Let's put the full Japanese longevity circuit together. Begin with Yuru Aruki, loose walking, 20 to 30 minutes daily. Indoors or outside, slow enough that your breath stays calm and sentences come easily. Your heel kisses the ground first, your foot rolls through the arch, your toes finish the step as you exhale softly. Shoulders rest down, gaze level, spine tall. Each step is a message of stability. After the walk, pause by a sturdy chair and begin Tachi Zawari. Feet hip-width, knees over toes, chest open, hands on thighs if you need balance. Inhale while seated. Exhale as you rise in 3 seconds. Inhale again as you lower in 4. 10 to 15 repetitions. 2 rounds. If that's too much, start with 5. Your goal isn't exhaustion, it's smoothness. This one exercise alone predicts 10-year independence better than blood tests. Finish with the quiet stance, the simplest yet most overlooked movement therapy in Japanese medicine. Stand with feet shoulder-width apart, knees soft, hands resting over your lower abdomen. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Exhale through your mouth for 6. Feel the weight travel down through your heels. After 2 minutes, you'll sense your pulse slowing. After 5, your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches, your thoughts drift. You have just regulated your heart rhythm through breath and posture. No machines, no pills. That's the bridge between heart health and joint health. The circulatory calm that repairs everything silently. This entire session takes about 40 minutes. You can split it. 20 after lunch for digestion. 20 before bed for recovery. If you stick to this, you'll notice within weeks that stairs feel shorter, balance feels easier, and fatigue retreats. And if you already have knee or hip issues, adjust the angles. Smaller bends, longer breaths. Progress isn't measured by strain, but by steadiness. That's the Japanese standard. Move in a way you can repeat every day, even at 90. Before we close, I want you to imagine something. It's 5 years from now. You wake up, stretch, and stand without thinking about how you'll get up. You step outside, feel the air on your face, and your knees don't protest. Your breathing is quiet, your heartbeat steady. You're not chasing youth. You've simply stopped rushing toward decline. This is the quiet revolution Japan has been leading for almost a century. Prevention through gentleness, endurance through awareness. It's the opposite of what we're told in the West, where strength is loud and progress is sweat. Here, progress is silent. It's measured in mornings when you move easily and nights when you sleep deeply. It's measured in independence, the ability to dress yourself, cook for yourself, climb the stairs at your own pace. These are the real victories of longevity, and they begin with respect, not resistance. So if today's message struck something in you, if you've been feeling that quiet stiffness, that heavy breath, that doubt about how to move, don't ignore it. Use it. Start tonight. 5 minutes of walking. 2 minutes of stance. That's all. Your body doesn't need punishment, it needs partnership. The same way your heart has been working for you without rest, you can finally work for it. Gently, consistently, intelligently. And if this lesson helped you see your body differently, share it with someone you love. Because one person recognizing an early warning can change an entire family's future. We'll meet again in the next episode, where I'll show you the Japanese sleeping position that improves spinal alignment and reduces back pain by 68%. Until then, move slowly, breathe kindly, and remember, the goal is not to earn rest days. The goal is to move so wisely that you never need them.